Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is 6:01 Eastern Standard Time, which puts it 1 a.m. in Ukraine, and I'm coming to you with a special video right now to commemorate 1,000 days of war in Ukraine. This is another one of our facts-only series, and I want to just bring a reminder to the world that 1,000 days of this war is now officially beginning. Ukraine 1 hour ago coming out with all kind of information and reminders and special dates and encouragement for the Ukrainian people, saying, listen, what was meant to take Kyiv in 3 days, we're still standing here into 1,000 days of this war, and we are not going anywhere. So guys, a facts only video right now. I want to remind you of some facts that have happened over these 1,000 days, just so it's in your mind, in your head, and you're thinking about it. And we continue to show our support and work as hard as we can for victory for Ukraine. Yes, over the last couple of days, we've had some good news and some bad news, but the reality is this war is not going anywhere. And if anything, it is escalating. I have a lot of stuff I will be sharing with you maybe later tonight or tomorrow in regard to that. But for this video right here, 1,000 days war in Ukraine. And I usually do this on a live, but I want to do this right now because I want to show you guys something. Here it is. So there you have it. This is, let me go back to that one right there. This is the Azov patch. This is right here, a battle-worn patch from Azovstal. Yes, early days of the war, Mariupol. This is a very special gift given to me from a survivor, a hero. And today on the 1,000th day of war, I am thinking about this guy right here. So guys, that is something special there, this battle-worn patch. Now, I want to share with you just for the next couple of minutes, not a long video here, just be mindful, be thinking about our dear Ukrainian brothers and sisters in arms, our civilians, government, everybody fighting for their very existence. This is some of the information that Ukraine is passing out to its civilians today, and I take it now and I give it to you. So let's start here. Ukraine coming out just an hour ago saying, remember, February 24th, 2022, the invasion began. Now, this was not the beginning of the war. The war had been going on for years and years, but this was the full-scale invasion. Russia invaded from 4 different directions. It began at 3:40 a.m. I will remember that because I was on a live stream with a friend of mine, actually our partner Zhenya, when the first missile was flying. Russian troops invaded Ukraine. They advanced from 4 different directions. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is February the 24th, 2022. Here's some other key dates that Ukraine was reminding its citizens of tonight. April the 2nd, 2022, it was called the gesture of goodwill. Do you remember that? Vladimir Putin saying, okay, we're going to do a gesture of goodwill, and we're going to pull back from Kyiv and some northern parts of Ukraine, like the Chernobyl area. Remember, the Russian soldiers were digging in the ground and digging up the radioactive. It's just a disaster. The gesture of goodwill, April 2nd, 2022. Yes, it's been that long ago when Russia was retreating from northern side of Kyiv, Irpin, Bucha, Gostomel, and up into Chernihiv area and Chernobyl area. How about, do you guys remember the Moskva? April the 14th, 2022, Russians lose their flagship vessel of the Russian Navy. Ukraine sunk the Moskva. I will never forget that day. Talking about it on the live, talking about it on YouTube, and the world was just rejoicing. Hey, these Ukrainians can fight. They're basically modifying some little sea drones, and they're taking out ships, and they're flinging the little converted missiles that they had. They were smashing the Russian Navy there in the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. They sunk the Moskva, April 14, 2022. You guys remember Snake Island? June 30th, 2022, Russians retreated from the island and Ukraine began to resume the best they could grain shipments. That was June 30th, 2022. Then September 6th, 2022, the Kharkiv counteroffensive started. Ukraine liberating with a massive counteroffensive, 10,000 square kilometers. I have been in many, many, many of the liberated cities and towns and villages. And I remember going into these towns right after they were liberated, and you would still see, or I would still see all of the Russian stuff painted, all of the Z's, all of the V's, and Ukraine would come in and start painting them over as they were liberating. We could see where Russian propaganda was posted up on billboards and signs, and Ukraine was ripping them down. I remember it like yesterday, September the 6th, 2022. 1,000 days, November the 11th, 2022, Kherson was liberated. Kherson City is the only regional city that has fallen to Russia during this war. No others have. What does that mean? Kharkiv has not. Zaporizhia, Dnipro. Of course, Donetsk had already been captured before the full-scale invasion. But Kherson, the only regional city that had been captured, and it was liberated on November the 11th, 2022. Can you believe it's been that long? August the 6th, 2024. You say, oh, what happened to 23? And what happened to the first half of 24? A horrible war of attrition where Ukraine was undersupplied and outmanned and still did an amazing job to defend their territory and fight for freedom and for their future. But on August the 6th, 2024, good news, Ukraine began the Kursk invasion. They invaded Russian territory that began and it continues. Yes, we've lost some territory, but we're holding on to it. And hello, attackums are coming, baby. Returned, here's some numbers for you. POW numbers. Since the war began, 3,767 POWs have been returned, prisoners of war. I want you to think about this for a moment. Many of you have heard these on my lives or maybe Rick's lives where we've let you listen to the air alarms or played videos of them. 50,523 air alarms since the beginning of the war. 50,523. And sometimes these air alarms will last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours. Think about that for a moment. Damage to this point in the war. Yes, billions. $62.9 billion of damage. Infrastructure, ecological, civilian, government, schools, hospitals, etc., $62.9 billion of damage since this war began 1,000 days ago. Finally, a few statistics for you. Ukraine was giving out just an hour ago. You're getting it right when they get it. Ukrainian armed forces have liberated 42,520 square kilometers of territory. Russia holds 67,098 square kilometers of territory since February 22. Approximately 722,440 Russian casualties in 1,000 days. Unbelievable. But they don't care. They'll keep coming. 2,753 cruise missiles and 19,073 shaheeds have been destroyed. Let that sink in for one moment. 1,000 days. 2,753 cruise missiles, 19,073 shaheeds have been destroyed. And I can tell you right now, as I'm recording this, shaheeds are flying in and around Kyiv and other cities inside Ukraine. And according to the United Nations data, which I disagree with, just my personal opinion from so much time inside Ukraine, at least 11,743 civilians were killed and 24,614 were injured as a result of Russian military aggression. That's the UN statement. I think the number's higher by a big margin. Regardless, that's the numbers and the UN data Ukraine was putting out tonight. Guys, can you believe 1,000 days of war? Facts only. Those are the numbers. Those are some of the key dates that we need to remember. And regardless of anything you hear, see, think, propaganda, media, this or that doesn't matter. We're standing with Ukraine do перемога. And I'll give you this on this 1,000-day video.
Слава Україні!
That's what we say on 1,000 days of this war. I honestly thought we would never get here, but we are, and we will continue on. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for subscribing. This is a facts only video, and the information I've shared with you just was shared to Ukrainian population 1 hour ago to remember the key things that have happened during this war. And every day we remember, and it inspires us to fight on. Thank you.